Evening, just a short one tonight. This evening, this is the third one I'm doing from the notes that I've been taking, or I read this a while ago, but I'm only just getting around to doing the notes. And this is by Sarah Hendrickx. What was one of the first books I read post-diagnosis, called and it's Women and Girls with Autism Spectrum Disorder. And I just made some notes about late diagnosis. I mean, I was in my 60s, as was my sister. So yeah, I'll just be quoting from the notes I made. So women receiving late diagnosis often share the same sense of relief and self-acceptance as men, but perhaps to an even greater degree due to the way in which they have needed to manage their autism, often through bending to fit what's expected of them. Feeling justified or vindicated by diagnosis is the strong response of many of the women I have spoken to. A sense of having the right to be yourself established for the first time in a world that doesn't always welcome or appreciate that self. Women who are exhausted and angry at having tried so hard to make everything make sense, while presuming that they were to blame for not getting it in the first place. Women who feel they have had to put on a persona of social acceptability in order to be tolerated. When asked what difference having an adult diagnosis meant for them, common themes are self-acceptance or being kinder to oneself. And that, when I said that is Sarah Hendrickx, obviously was the person putting it, who did a lot of the research, or if another researcher is named, I mention that. And here's another quote from a woman that was obviously interviewed for the book. A massive difference, mainly in terms of understanding myself and not being so hard on myself. It explains so much of my life, my needs, my choices, and it made me feel justified and validated in being how I am. It makes it easier to meet people and take on new experiences because I know why I find things difficult. I know what might help, and if it doesn't work, I am more accepting. It helps with the guilt. Why didn't I travel the world during my gap year? Why aren't I using my PhD to commute to London to work a 50-hour-week job? Why don't I go to parties when I'm invited? Why do I not enjoy parties I do go to when I have guilted myself into going, etc.? And that was a woman with autism who was diagnosed at 31. And so although I was diagnosed as twice the age of the person, even 30s is considered late diagnosis, but I very much, that resonated. That's how I've often explained it. I felt exactly that, validated. It made sense. I'm more accepting of myself. I haven't got everything right. I still do mask, but it makes me feel, so that's why I'm like that. So that's why I did that. And as I always say, it's an explanation and not an excuse. So next time I shall be reading some more, or just another area from the book, just bits that I picked out that resonated. So thank you. Bye for now.